I want to talk to you today about a widget that I call the Day Planner. And I'm going to start by just mentioning some quotes from famous people about time management. And this one is from Peter Drucker. He says, "Man is ill-equipped to manage his time, even in total darkness. Most people retain their sense of space, but even with the lights on, a few hours in a sealed room render most people incapable of estimating how much time has elapsed." In other words, our brains are not very good at managing time. And of course, everyone knows this famous quote from Ben Franklin, who said, "Time is money." So what that means is that we have this very valuable resource, but our brains are actually really bad at managing it. And what that means, in my view, is that we need software to help us. We need computers and logic to help guide our fallible human brains to manage our time a little bit better. Now I'm going to show you how I interact with this widget. It's in the very first item in my morning routine is check the day plan. So I come into this thing in the morning and it says the first thing I'm supposed to do is check my day plan. So here we go. This is my plan for today. You can see there's a lot of items going on the left. It's a Sunday, so there's a little bit more leisure activities, a little bit more restful activities. I have kind of a leisurely breakfast at a local French restaurant called La Note. And then I do some Chinese studying, some reading, working on the widgets, of course. I can edit these items. Let's say instead of lifting weights, I want to go for a run. Just edit that like that. I can change the time amounts by going up or down like that. And I can delete items. So let's say I don't want to do yoga reading tonight. Boom, that's gone. Then I can add it back if I want. I can say, let's say, instead of yoga reading, I'm going to watch Netflix show. Just put that in there like that. Now, this shows me the end time as well as the time spent. Of course, it could work differently. It could show me the start time and the end time. I kind of prefer to do it this way. It's not a big deal one way or the other to change how that works. But that's what the widget does, and it helps me to keep on track for what I'm supposed to do during the course of the day. Now, ideally, I would fill out the day plan the day before. My basic rule that I struggle to follow, but is I should fill out the day plan the day before and then don't really divert from it at all during the day. So let's see what that is going to look like. So here's tomorrow. I will jump out of bed. I will do my standard coffee and Chinese. I do a little study of Chinese every day in the morning. I'll go into my morning routine, which is the widget that does my morning checklist. And then I'll jump into my workday, and I'll spend workday. I'll spend 8.5 hours doing that. And I will include lunch here. I'll just say include lunch. It's not like I'm going to forget to eat lunch. Certainly my girlfriend will remind me that it's lunchtime if I forget. And then after the workday, this is where it gets a little bit constrained because I have a Toastmasters meeting. So it's very important to finish up the workday at 5:30, and then I'll do a run right after that. And then the Toastmasters meeting basically starts at 6:45, 6:50 or so. So I'll say Toastmasters. And then we usually do about a half hour social discussion after the meeting ends officially. Then it's about 8:30, and this is actually, this illustrates why it's important to do this kind of day planning, because now it's 8:30. The day is not over. It's actually far from over. But if I'm not very disciplined about planning my evenings, it's very, very easy to slip into a very unproductive and not even very enjoyable evening. I'll often just watch some TV, waste time surfing social media, surfing Twitter, that kind of thing. So what I want to do is really give myself a strong guidance for what I'm going to do after this meeting ends. And well, one thing will be dinner. Now it's 9:30, and what I'm going to do after dinner? Well, let's say I'm going to do an hour of Chinese study, and then I'm going to do yoga reading. Okay, so those will be my evening activities. Actually, just kidding. I changed my mind. I'm going to fast tomorrow night, and I'm just going to snack instead. So I'll do actually 90 minutes of Chinese, and then 1 hour of yoga reading. And that'll bring me to 11 o'clock, and that'll be a good way to wrap up the day. This should be a pretty productive evening after the Toastmasters meeting, and that will help me feel good about myself, get some exercise in, and get some reading in. Now, that's all fine. Here's another idea. Most of my Mondays look more or less the same. So let's imagine that I had a template. I'm going to go ahead and delete these items. Let's imagine that I had a template, which in fact I do. And that template tells me what I do on a typical Monday. All right, so that I can reuse this template and just queue it up every Monday without having to think through every little piece of the puzzle. So exercise is going to be a run. I'm going to delete the dinner item and add in Chinese and then yoga reading, just like before. So that saves me a little bit of time. It saves me a little bit of decision making. I don't have to ponder over all the ins and outs of how to schedule a day. I can just take this template and follow that pattern. I want to give you just a little bit of info about the data design here. I'm not going to jump into the code too much. Here's the schema. So let's look at that. Select star from day plan main, where day code equals 2020 10 26. What's the name of that column? Day underscore code. There we go. And that is the data that I just entered. Just to illustrate that, I'll change this to something else. Let's say I want to watch Netflix. And you can see that got updated like that. Now these other tables here are the templates. So the main one is day template, and I can show you those over here. Those are the active templates. If I click there, I get the inactive templates, and then I can go in and edit a template pattern just like I would do for a an actual day. So if I select star from day template sub where temp ID equals, which one is this? TM Monday work. That is 23. That's where this data comes from. So I can go in and every now and then I'll go in and update the templates to keep them up to date with my current activities, right? So when we stopped going into the office every day, I had to change a lot of my templates because there was no more commute time. And that was actually a big challenge in terms of day planning, is how to get everything done that I wanted to do in spite of having to commute into the city and do the workday and then commute back. So that is the idea of the day planner. I hope you will either try this one out yourself or make something vaguely similar to it that can help you manage your time better. Thanks a lot.